What's up guys, welcome to new Unreal Engine 5 tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to use structs. It's going to be a very easy video to follow, so let's get started. I just want to let you know that I just released a new free ebook that you can download for beginners on how to master Unreal Engine 5, so I'll be linking that in the description. With that said, let's continue with the video. Alright, so a struct is a collection of different types of data that are held together for easy access. For example, we can use structs to define the parameters for a weapon, like the weapon damage, the weapon name, the weapon icon, and for example the mesh. So in order to create a new struct in Unreal Engine, we need to go to the content browser, right click, go to the blueprint section and select the structure. So now we can name this something as s_weapon. As for this example, I'm gonna be defining all the parameters for a weapon. So let's open this up. And as you can see in this struct asset, we have a list of variables that we can add. As you can see, we can just click on this button. So for this first one, this will be something as the name. And once we have the name for the variable, we can define the type. So in this case, it will be something as the string. Then I'm gonna add the second parameter for my weapon, which in this case will be something as the damage. And now I can go here and select, for example, float. Then I can do the same, but for the icon, and select a texture 2D. And then I can do the same for the mesh itself. And I can go and select, for example, static mesh. And there we go. So as you can see, I have defined all the variables or parameters that my weapon would require. And we have this organized in a single asset type, which is the structure. So now this means that I can implement this in blueprints. So let's go ahead and open up the third person character blueprint just as an example, and I'm gonna go and just go over here and create a new variable, and let's call this something as the weapon. So this will be my current equipped weapon. So what I can do is go here and select the data type that we just created, which is s_weapon, and I can go and select as weapon, compile, and as you can see, having the weapon variable selected, in the details panel we have this drop down where I can fill in all of the values. So for example, the name will be like, just sword, the damage will be like 15, I could select an icon, and then I can also select like a model mesh, right? And there we go, we have my sword gone ahead and created. And now I can drag this into the event graph, get it, zoom in, and then right click and split it to get all the information. I'll also drag it and use this break node where I can essentially get the same thing. As you can see, I get all of the different parameters as an output. So this means that, for example, when I press my left mouse button, I can go and print, I don't know, the name of the weapon, right? So let me just plug in the name on here, and when I press play and essentially left click, you can see that I get sword, right? Because that's the name of the struct that I just created. But of course, we don't have a list of variables here for the weapon name, weapon damage, weapon icon, and weapon mesh. We have a single variable, which is a struct, which contains those variables inside of it. And this is super useful when creating this type of things as items, weapons, and so on. Additionally, we could also create a data table to fill in all of this in a nice, data table, right, and database, and be more efficient. But that's for another video. If you want to see that, let me know down in the comments. But overall, you can see how we can use structs to overall get the information over here. We could also, of course, go ahead and create their own weapon blueprint and fill this in, and it will be more efficient. But this is just an example in the third person character blueprint to showcase. Okay, typically this will be in its own blueprint, right? We can also go get the weapon and set the members, right? And I can go and expand this and output them as a pin. And I essentially can go ahead and override and essentially change the weapon variable itself, right? So I can change the name, the damage, and so on, and we have an output with the struct. I can also go here and set the var by reference and split it. So on here I am essentially updating this variable, and in this one I'm essentially going ahead and creating a new struct. Okay, it's basically the difference between these two variables. So if you want to update a variable, you would use this set by reference. Okay, and then you would fill everything in, and essentially this variable, which is a struct, would update, and then you can go ahead and use it for other stuff and it will be updated, right? So it's really cool. Honestly, the struct can be used for a lot of different cases, so I really recommend to use it for this kind of things. Of course, you could create a class of a blueprint actor which will have this as individual variables, and you can use cast into it, but struct just make sure to have everything more organized for the long term, really. So that's it, guys. I found this video helpful. I would really appreciate it if you like the video and subscribe to my channel. I have lots of Unreal Engine 5 videos sent through, so check them out. Check out my ebook. Go ahead and join my Discord server. Follow me on socials. And now, yes, with all that said, bye bye.